All right, Tube. Can you say a cluster? I have the welding device, the generator, outside the rig, extension cord running into the welder, and I've been welding. I also have a new addition. Bathroom wall is in. That wasn't too bad. I have 1-inch framing here, and you can see there's a gap in the wall, just like the bedroom wall, and that is for a lot of stuff. Bathroom, I have to have a connection for my 110 going from the panel area down underneath to here. Then I need to have a junction box here and some coil built into the slide area, because on the back side of the kitchen cabinet, I'm going to have a hole where the wires will actually coil up inside the cabinet as the slide goes in and out. So I have to have a junction box here and another one on the inside of the cabinet with a moving cable to get my 110 power into the kitchen. I also have plumbing, much like the bedroom, coming up through here. So there'll be a vent from the black/gray water tank going through here and then eventually going through the roof. I also have my cross members built for the upper wall, and the upper wall is going to get mounted, welded eventually to the ceiling, and it's going to come around the lower wall. I also have my mounts, my cross members in here for the wall that goes in for the closet, and then you can see I have the walls built actually right here. They're just kind of stuck in place. For the divider between the kitchen and the bedroom, I have my cross members in for that. What else? So now, Tube, I am working on building cabinets, and I'm going to have cabinets in the ceiling for the bedroom, in the ceiling for the kitchen, right above the bar, and obviously right above the bed. There'll be another set above the, or in the bathroom when I get that whole upper wall mess figured out in there. That's a whole nother nightmare. But right now I'm building cabinets for the bar area and the bedroom area. And here's the bugger, is they have to be in the center of the rig, because where the wall sits here is the only space that the slide outs don't hit and the roof doesn't hit. So the cabinets can only fit in that little pocket of space. So that's one. And then two, I have to incorporate a wall that will wrap around this wall on both sides and conceal it when it goes up, conceal the plumbing that's going to be up inside here. So I have to incorporate this wall, and then this wall has to go down and actually squeeze with all the trim and stuff, squeeze between this little gap right there. So what I'm working on is I built myself a little jig. I have just a piece of aluminum tacked down with this guy, just clamped down. Took another piece of aluminum and set it to my 16-inch height that I'm going to need for my supports in my box, and just started ripping them off. And here's where I'm at. I have my two top cross members that'll go across the entire length from the bar to the bedroom, and then I have the bottom of the cabinets here, and then the verticals are going here. So basically, let's see if I can figure this out here. So I kind of sketched it out. So basically I have a cabinet for the bar here, cabinet for the bedroom here, and there has to be a gap between the two of them to go over the wall, that upper wall where the plumbing goes through, and the plumbing is going through this whole thing. So what I've decided is to make this piece all the way across here. Sorry. Yeah. This piece across here and this one across here solid, because even at this gap they won't hit this upper part of the wall, and then there'll be a gap down here and a gap down here, and I'll have to kind of figure out the rest of it. So right now I'm just boxing out the cabinets and gonna try to get those set up in the ceiling. All right, so what I did is obviously the bottom piece, the first one I welded up, I squared up with the corner clamps. These guys, again, for whatever they were, 15, 20 bucks, I don't even know if they're that much. They have worked out perfectly. So the first piece I welded up was this guy, these 4 pieces all the way down to the end, and sorry, 6 cross members. And that was square. So I know this is square. So now the next step, what I did is I just started tacking in legs, and all I did is just put one little tack in the center, this one not so much, of each one all the way down, and knew I could shift this with just one weld on it to where it had to be, either this way or this way, and sure enough, it's just a little bit is what I got to tweak them. So you can see I've got the squares on them, and what I've done is I've pinched the squares to the aluminum to get me square both directions. And now what I'll do is I'll start welding the opposite side, because in theory, if I have all my cuts straight and the same dimensions, if one side is square, the other side will be square. So we're gonna start welding up this little guy here and see how it ends up, and then start going down the line, clamping and welding. Because obviously I'm not gonna weld this guy until those are all taken care of, so I can get these out of the way. So yeah, let's see how that goes. And then there's a slight calculation in my numbers. So those are my cabinets for the bedroom and for the kitchen. Please note the length and how boxy it is and beautiful. Well, I'm running out of space to get boxy and beautiful in. It doesn't fit. So we're gonna do the old window trick. So yeah, gotta put it through the window. This is like the new definition of squirrel cage. Almost in. All right, the chaos ensues. It's like an art sculpture, just kind of hanging there. So it's kind of hard to tape and actually get this thing in, but obviously it was tight. But we were able to get it in. And what I'm gonna do is, so if you can visualize, there are my cabinets that will eventually adhere to the roof, and they'll come down to this height when the roof is down. So I'm going to lower the roof and kind of shim these up, because the gap here is super important because it's so tight there. The other side, as long as I clear the lower wall, I'm good. So there's the cabinets, working on those. I think I'm gonna get a bite to eat here. It's kind of a cool little art sculpture. And I also have some upper walls in the bathroom done. So how this is gonna work is this is all getting wrapped in a fiberglass reinforced panel, FRP for short. And I'll have one going across here, so it'll barely clear the other panel that's here. And obviously this upper wall is here because I have plumbing going through here and up through the roof. So I have to conceal that when the roof goes up and down. And it has to be sealed in the bathroom. So what I have is the wall, upper wall wrapping lower wall. Then over here, I'm gonna have a switch on the outside, so I couldn't have another outer wall wrapping this, which I'd like to do because it keeps this kind of tight, but I'm gonna figure that out. So I'm gonna have a switch on the outside for the bathroom, and then this upper wall seals this and will drop down on the inside. And then also to keep kind of this upper area up here waterproof, because if I just had this wall, I'd have this little corner to contend with. So I've welded in a second wall over here, so this will overlap everything, and the shower is going right up in here, so it's not very likely that I'm going to get much up in here, and I'm going to have a little shield here. So that will keep this whole mess, I hope, waterproof. All right, so it's a little late, but the roof went down without a hitch. So the bathroom wall, you can see this guy has got a little adjustment. Down at the bottom, I'm good. And as I go up, I've got to move it a little bit here. But the rest of it, let's see, this wall is stationary. This mess is going up and down, and my gap is pretty decent. I'll end up pulling this and adhering the laminate to keep that space where it's supposed to be, and that'll be great. But all the way down, the gap stayed consistent. My gap back there is good to go. Up there is good to go. So that wall, this wall, and this wall all came down without a hitch over this wall, and around that wall. My outer wall here came down fine, and now I'm setting the cabinets into place, and I have them just about pinned down and kind of lined up. So I'm starting to screw them up, and once I get it screwed up all the way down, I'll raise it up and down and see what happens. Well, there's a shot from up top. Bathroom down there, cabinets hanging, and I think we're pretty close to good to go. So there you go, tube. Cabinets in place, and the rig just got a little tighter now that it's closed up. All right, tube. Give you a little sneak peek into next week. So guess what arrived, YouTube? My customized panels, electrical panels. And this came in another box surrounded by paper, and inside this box is bubble wrap to the nth degree wrapped around my panel. Oh, there's the back side. Not gonna break the seal. That is just sexy. And then for the front side, that is my main breaker panel for 12, 24, 12 volt, 24 volt, and 120. And those are all my breakers labeled, ready to go. They've got a reverse polarity light. They've got a power light for each one. They're all sized per my specifications. And this thing is hand built, custom made.